Would you believe that that song actually gives me more nostalgia than the DuckTales theme because I watched this show more? Either way, hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2. Special Bulletin! Police say a downtown restaurant has received a bomb threat. Unless the time bomb can be found, the restaurant could be destroyed.
Whoa! A time bomb! Chip! What is it? There's a time bomb in a restaurant downtown! We've got to find it! This is an emergency! There's no time to waste. Let's go, mates. We've got a bomb to find. We'll go ahead to investigate. Look for us, and we'll give you any clues we've found. I'll give you some help. Never would have made it through the Battle of the Bree without a bit of help. Ah, those were the days. Thanks for the inclusion, Zipper. Right, Zipper. There's no time to lose. Dale, you come with me. Now? But I was about to start my afternoon nap. No can do, Dale. Okay, partner. Let's go.
Rescue Rangers away! Also in the news, Fatcat, the notorious feline felon, escaped from prison last night. Oh, if only they'd said an extra 3 seconds. Either way, starting off, Chip 'n Dale 2 plays more or less the same as the first game, just a little bit refined. There's no longer any stars we're looking for. We now have these ranger badges, I think is what they're called. You gain 50 of those, you get a continue or a ranger plaque, I believe it is, at the end of a given stage. There are still acorns hidden beneath some boxes that can restore your life, and I think the occasional star to give you a 1-up, but those are far and few between in this game compared to the first one. The game hasn't changed too much in gameplay otherwise, it's just a bit more refined with its stage design. In fact, the stage design, I will say, is what got the biggest upgrade from Rescue Rangers 1 to 2, as with the bosses. The main levels themselves, at least gameplay-wise, haven't changed that much. The major thing is, now whenever you're carrying a box, occasionally it'll flash, and if you throw it while it's flashing, you get a super throw, which can trigger certain stage elements that you can't trigger otherwise, and with enemies like that rat who reflect your boxes back normally, that's how you take them out. It's not the most useful, especially given that you have to time it carefully, but it's there. Also, I'm playing as Chip over Dale because, I think I even said this back in the original Games LP, I am an Indiana Jones fan before a Magnum P.I. fan. Plus, I always just like Chip a bit more than Dale in this particular series. In the main Chip 'n Dale cartoons, it's neither here nor there, really. Though Dale was definitely the funnier between the two, don't get me wrong. stages do have a bit more set pieces this time around, too. Instead of just going straight through the level with nothing in the way, usually there are little stage houses like this that are unique to the level this time around. And occasionally in levels, be they required or otherwise, you can find little hidden rooms where Monterey Jack will give you health restorative items. Sometimes it's before boss fights, sometimes it's not.
Alright, spill it. Who set the time bomb?
I did! Fat Cat asked me to create a diversion, and it worked!
No way! Fat Cat's in prison!
Not anymore! It broke out last night! He's planning to steal the urn of the Pharaoh. He probably has it already. You're too late.
So where's the bomb?
Find it yourself. And now it's time for our first boss fight against the water rabbit. It spawns from the middle right and then it'll move forward. Whenever it reaches the end of a platform, he'll either jump up or fall down, which he does is random, though there's usually more opportunities for him to jump up than fall down. From the 2 waterfalls at the top of the screen, boxes will fall, and either he'll hit himself like that, like a dumbass, or as usual, you'll have to just pick him up and throw them at him. Compared to Chip and Dale 1, they actually do better in the boss fights in that one regard immediately, where the weapons to use aren't immediately available to you. In the first game, you had to use a red ball that was just always there for the boss fights, not so much here. And here's the stage clear screen. This is where you can see how many plaques you've gotten, or how many badges you got throughout the stage, and if you get 50, you get a badge. Plaque, rather. The P is your extra lives, and obviously the hearts are your health. You can pause the game to see how many lives you have at any point in time, but there's not much point in doing so. And after every level, you get a little bonus game. You have to throw a ball at a star. You get the silver star, you get a 1-up. Gold, you get a 2 up.
Gadget, have you found the bomb?
Here's the bomb. Look, it has blue and red wires coming out of it. We have to cut one of the wires to defuse it. But, what happens if we cut the wrong wire? We're doomed. Uh-oh. Which one should I cut? Red or blue? Hurry! It doesn't matter which one you choose, the result is the same, so I'm just gonna go with blue. Are you sure? Yep. Okay, here goes. Whew. I guess that was the right one. It must have been a fake bomb. Hurry! Fat Cat's done stolen the urn of the Pharaoh. How oddly southern of you, Chip. It's on a ship about to leave port. Now what does Fat Cat want with the urn of the Pharaoh? Who knows? We've just got to get it back. Also, if it's not entirely obvious, I can't do chipmunk voices, partially because those are sped up voices to begin with, and I don't feel like talking really slowly in a certain accent and then speeding it up. I also really like how this game actually went outright for cutscenes over Chip and Dale 1, which just had a few select dialogue portraits after certain amounts of levels. Though an immediate change as well, Chip and Dale 2 does not have a level select screen. In fact, that's because you're actually required to play all 8 stages in the game this time around instead of just selecting a pathway and generally sticking to it unless you want to go and play every level. Comparatively, this game is a lot more of a standard platformer, and I actually do like it more for that, honestly. Because some of the stuff in Chip and Dale 1 was interesting, but like the stage select, it kind of just felt redundant. Though one thing the game is lacking in is stage length because we're already done with stage 2. The boss of stage 2 was one of the more annoying ones in the game, the flying feline. he will shoot 2 rocks that fall down from the sky directly at where you are, and you want one of them to land on the floor. That's how you use it as a weapon. Afterwards, he'll generally just fly at you. He has 2 variations, one where he does just kind of a sweep over the floor, but never touches it, and the other where he touches the floor and then will just slide along until he reaches the extreme. Not a hard boss in concept, but sometimes getting the rocks to fall to a point where you can pick them up and not get hit by him can be a bit tricky. One of the harder bosses in the game, but that's not saying too much, honestly, because compared to the first game, Chip 'n Dale 2 is quite a bit easier. By that I mean there's no real difficulty spike compared to 1. Plus, the extra bonus games always around to give you extra lives does help with that, though hitting the gold star can be annoying, and we're immediately flung into the ship stage. Despite the cutscenes being there, honestly, just a nice real touch that makes it feel just a bit more like an episode of the cartoon. Sometimes they just don't exist, and admittedly, they can go on a bit long, though, in a rarity for an NES game. The cutscenes have a dialogue skip button by pressing the B button that just makes it basically like Pokemon speed through the text without any of the text noises. And there's outright a cutscene skip button with the start button. Not many games on the NES that had cutscenes allowed you to do that, especially that consistently. This is a tennis ball. It works the same as the bolt that we saw earlier that I didn't comment about. You throw it up, and it will land on things. We want to do that in this case because you might notice that little switch over there. If we jump on this, a new platform spawns as well as a door that leads us to another Monterey Jack area. The reason that he throws 2 pieces of cookie, I guess, out is purely for the 2-player, honestly. And I have not touched the 2-player for this game. I know you can throw yourselves around just like you could in the first game, and I think that allows you to not only have permanent ammo, but also just to have some areas be a bit easier with amount of enemy management, box throwing, so on and so forth. I've just never touched it because, yeah. And the thing is, that makes me think I probably could have done this game with Scott, maybe, or someone else, but the thing is, I like to do multiplayer more for games like Gunstar Heroes or the Power Rangers Brawler, just because they feel a bit better for that. By the way, boss of this stage is Whiskey Weasel, I believe. The way this fight works is that the stage is constantly scrolling up, and he'll be trying to follow you. He'll jump from platform to platform, trying to touch you. Whenever he's generally on a platform next to you, he'll shoot out his fireballs from his mouth. However, when your screen is scrolling up, the boxes will spawn. The best way to do this fight is actually just to grab the box, go to the platform he's going to be on next, and duck with it, because the box will act as a shield, preventing you from getting hit while also damaging him. Notable, in the Japanese version, I believe, these boxes actually had different graphics, which made them a bit harder to discern from the rest of the stage detail, but thankfully here they're just standard boxes. This boss I actually used to have some trouble with before I started ducking, but nowadays it's one of the easier in the game. Also, not too fond of the boss music in this game. It's a bit too short, if that makes any sense for NES games. Also, I think the stage clear screen looks a bit different in Japan too. I think instead of strangely bluish-gray triangles, they have like bricks around there, which I think is a bit better looking. You do only get 1 shot with the bonus game. If you miss, you are sent just straight to the next stage. The Art of the Pharaoh is missing! And we don't have any leads! Oh gee, I wonder what that is. Monty, what's Zipper saying?
Well, love, he says that Fatcat and his henchmen headed into a warehouse by the docks.
Really? Are you sure, Zipper?
All right, come on, let's go.
Fatcat better watch out. Whoa, it's pitch dark in here. I can't see a bloomin' thing. Hey, the door shut itself.
Welcome, my little rescue rangers. I've waited a long time for this.
Fat Cat?
The one and only.
Fat Cat, you stole the urn of the Pharaoh.
That's right. And it's full of ancient evil spirits. When I release them, I'll rule the world.
You'll never get away with this, Fat Cat.
And what will you do to stop me? You're in a giant refrigerator. You'll be frozen solid in about 3 minutes.
Ah, nuts. What are we gonna do now? I think I see an opening. Over there. Maybe we can escape through it. Hurry.
You'll be frozen solid in 3 minutes.
We actually have a gimmick for this stage. In 3 minutes, you automatically... I think it's an automatic death. I don't think it's an automatic game over. However, you just need to race through the stage. There are ice physics to keep in mind, but overall, it's actually not that bad a stage, and the fact there's no boss at the end due to the time limit helps with that. Just make sure your jumps count, though. And something I constantly have to remind myself about this game is that some of the background objects are platforms, like the boxes we saw earlier and these ones. Maybe it's just because I've played too much Mega Man throughout my life, but I see these and I think they're walls, and you don't want to do that in this. You also got these little fans which will blow you up, and they actually do have some weight to them. If you want to get, like, the ranger badges that are lower, you need to jump to get the extra momentum to go down. And that's the stage. It is short, but the thing is, because there's no scene shifts, you have to do it all in one go. If you die, you have to go back to the beginning and do it again. Which kind of sucks, but yeah, it's overall easy, so it doesn't really matter. In fact, I can say while there's no difficulty spikes in this game, there are only 2 stages that can be really annoying.
Crikey! There's ghosts everywhere! Fatcat must have opened the urn!
Look! They're coming from the warehouse!
You mean the warehouse is haunted?
Pull yourself together, Dale. You're a ranger. Yeah! Those are ghosts! Haha, it's humorous because character traits. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we're going to be continuing on through the game. See you guys then.